Hello again to another video about the game called Jurassic Trail. So I made some changes to the game, and I think I didn't explain correctly the last time how some intricates between the different types of these dinosaurs works when they meet each other on the Jurassic Trail. But before I explain that, I have some cards here that I'm going to use for the examples before I play just like one game. I'm going to play two-handed game between two players just to show you how that works. And these are the changes. So I removed the fluff text that was previously below each dinosaur, and I added some special effects that activate once the card is either eaten, in which case you can see here that, or is off the trail, basically moved, pushed out the trail. Alright, but before I do the playthrough, let me explain how things happen once some dinosaurs land on each other. So let's start with the carnivores here. We have this Albertosaurus. So in case that carnivore lands on a herbivore, and that herbivore has a lower speed, in this case 3 against 4, it's gonna be eaten. Or if the herbivore lands on the carnivore, so we're just looking for the speed between the carnivore and herbivore, so lower speed will always be eaten. That also applies to other carnivores. So if this Albertosaurus lands on some other carnivore that has a lower speed, he's just gonna eat him. Alright, so which means the carnivores will always gonna try to eat everything that's slower than them. Now, if we have a thing that two carnivores land on each other and they have the same speed, then you're gonna check their hierarchy, in which case the dinosaur with the higher hierarchy will stay in the Jurassic Trail, and the other dinosaur must move in the direction of his movement, his full speed. And as he moves up, he may land again on some carnivore or herbivore, and then that will cascade and do some other things. So that's what happens when carnivores with a higher speed lands on other carnivores or herbivores. So one of them is going to be eaten. Now another thing that can happen is if the one herbivore lands on another herbivore, they're not gonna eat each other. And before I actually explain that, let me do one more example. When the carnivore lands on the herbivore that has higher speed than the carnivore, well, this herbivore will escape, and while doing so they will do something that only herbivores can do. So carnivores can eat stuff, but herbivores can actually stampede. What that means is gonna escape. If he has a higher speed, he will get into that stampede mode if attacked by the carnivore, and he will move the difference between the highest and the lower speed. So in this case it's a 5 against 4, he will move one space, and this guy can go up or down, so the player whose turn it actually is, he can choose where he's going to move it. But in the process of moving, if he lands on something else, so let's say this is above him and he moves up, he will push this card in the trail like this. He will stampede and push it up, which can cause these cards to go off the trail. As you know, we have only 6 cards in the trail. That's the maximum number we have. So if it's moved to the 7th place, it's off the trail. All right, now let's get to the example where we have a herbivore against the herbivore. Well, they don't actually fight or anything, they just move. So you don't look actually at their speeds. What you look is their hierarchies, and if their hierarchy, if higher hierarchy will stay in the trail and the lower hierarchy will move, but it's gonna also stampede, but it's gonna move again, difference between 2 speeds. So this guy will move only 1 space, but he will stampede, moving again. Now there is one more example which I need to show, and that's when you have a carnivore and a herbivore of the same speed. Okay. All right, so if this happens, this guy will not get eaten. You will actually then check their hierarchy. They will challenge each other, and lowest hierarchy will just normally moved. He just moved away. Basically, he will evade this carnivore, or carnivore will evade this herbivore. So let's say something like this happened. This guy stays in the trail and this guy moves his full speed, so no difference, but the full speed up. So he'll go four spaces up, and then he can actually land on some other dinosaurs, and that could actually cascade even more and something will happen. All right, so let me show you how that works in the game. So we're gonna shuffle. So for two-player game, I'm gonna play to my best abilities two-handed. I'm gonna draw one card, my opponent will draw one card, we will check those cards. Whoever has the highest hierarchy I will go first, and my opponent is gonna go second. Then we draw two more, and then we form a little column where in between us, where the cards are like 90 degrees flipped, going from top to the bottom, following the highest to the lowest hierarchy. So the highest hierarchy would show that this is the top, so this Albertosaurus will go here. Then we have number 6 hierarchy below, then 4, and then 2. And that's just part of the Jurassic Trail, because as you know, we can actually have 2 more cards. That's the maximum that can trail extend. Everything else will be pushed out. And if something moves while your trail is not complete, if it moves up or down, it's just going to become top or the bottom of the trail. The rest of the cards you will deal 7 to me. Let's just cut this. So 7 cards to me and 7 cards to my opponent. And I'm going to check my hand. This would be my 7 cards in the hand. My opponent wouldn't see them, he doesn't know what I have. And there are no any limitation, which, like when you're playing against the Automa, where you actually have to play the highest, you know, carnivore or the highest herbivore. And let's actually flip those two. And then I'm gonna play. All right. So you're gonna play 6 cards from your hand. The 7th card that stays in your hand that you're not gonna play will be used for scoring. So let's say this was my 7th card in the end. If I have 2 herbivores, you can see here on the top of the trail, I will score 5 points. For this objective where the position of the dinosaurs is important, you always score 5 points. But if I get in my scoring pile any dinosaur that get eaten or pushed out during my turn, I will score 2 for each carnivore. So basically you will only score 1 type. Now also there are some cards that have like both types, like you can see here, this Stratihomimus has like, he can be carnivore and herbivore, and you decide how you're gonna use it during your turn. So he can be either top or the bottom icon. So in this case, let's see what I can do. So for instance, if I want to start getting this dinosaur into my scoring pile, all I have to do, actually no, let me check. Maybe this guy. Okay. So the arrow also says from top or the bottom he can enter the trail. In this case, the arrow says downwards, so he can move 3 little steps down. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. He would land on this Maxiosaurus, and what we're checking with the carnivores, who has the highest speed. He has, so he will actually eat this Alamosaurus, and that's gonna go to my scoring pile. And if we check, it says that, which means he's eaten. If this is the highest herbivore in your scoring pile, add 1 more dinosaur to your scoring pile from the Jurassic Trail. Great for me. So now I probably check my cards. Maybe I want to score some herbivores, so probably want to keep these cards. Probably these 3. They give me 3, so I might say I'm gonna take. Let me see, 1 more dinosaur. So it doesn't say which type. Let's take another herbivore. Bam. And then we just fill in the space, the trail becomes smaller. Now we come to my opponent. Let's see what he can do. Oh, you may want to also score some herbivores. So he may play this parasauropause. It's gonna move from top to bottom like this. It will land here. Trodon has a high speed and he's a carnivore. He's gonna get eaten. Goes to his scoring pile, and it has ability on that. Move one lowest hierarchy carnivore up to 2 spaces on Jurassic Trail in direction of your choice. So lowest hierarchy, this is the guy. He can move up to 2 spaces. So it doesn't say may, so he actually have to do this. All right, so he will move. Let me see, up to 2 spaces on in direction of your choice. So he can move it up here, or he will actually stay here, because even if he moves down, he will still be on the trail. Let's see what happens if he goes there. He will actually manage to eat this Albertosaurus because higher speed. Now don't consider this is only one dinosaur. It could be like herd of them, and this could be only one. All right, and our trail is really small, and this goes into scoring pile 2. And now it says off trail, but he was actually eaten, so there is no effect there for my opponent. So my opponent just scored 2, and this trail is pretty small. So, and there are no dinosaurs that move 2, so whatever I play, I probably want to play something that's gonna put these dinosaurs. So let's do this. I'm gonna play this Nososaurus, and he will just move like this, and he moves like 6, but he will stay there. And then let's see what my opponent wanna play. He also will have to put something into the trail. Let's say this herbivore, and he will go all the way up to here. Bam. So it's back to me. Can I eat something? I can send this guy to death, which would be really good for me. So he will go 1, 2, 3, lands on the Trodon. Trodon's gonna eat him, so he stays, and I score this. So that move the highest hierarchy herbivore from the Jurassic Trail to your scoring pile. Highest hierarchy, that would be this guy, so he goes to my scoring pile. Okay, nothing big there. And then my opponent might want to play something. Let's see. I'm looking like final. This would be, well, he needs more herbivores, but he could score 5 points if the last on the bottom is like carnivore, and that's gonna probably happen looking at this right now. So he may play this and go 1, 2, 3, 4, land there. Let's see what I want to do. Well, if I play this Tyrannosaurus, he may get eaten, or I can eat this. Okay, let me see, what do I want to keep? Now the question is, what do I want to keep of these cards to also score 5 points? Now this is good for me because this herbivore is up, but it gives me the lowest amount of these points. So having like carnivore on the top and bottom, if I keep this as my last card, would be good. So how can I put the guy up there? That's the question. Can I do that? So if I play this in the choices, which could go like 1, 2, 3, but then he gets eaten, that's not good really. Or 1, 2, 3. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play him from the bottom. He will go 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I'm gonna consider this as a herbivore. So with the highest speed. So as you know, he will now escape and stampede. So this will guy go here, and this guy will go difference, so 3 spaces. So he will go 1 and he will stop here. He will not push anything, and our trail is now 5 cards. Then back to my opponent. Well, he has a herbivore and carnivore. What does he want to keep? Oof. Let's see. This is not bad for him. Might get 5 points if this stays like this, because this is carnivore and herbivore. So you can say it is carnivore and herbivore, and this card would score him 5 points. So maybe Velociraptor should go later. Well, he might play this Triceratops, which would go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, so we have 2 herbivores. We check their hierarchy. Triceratops will stay, and the other guy will move his full speed. They have the same speed. So up, so he will go 1, 2. He will stampede, but I think that's a 6 card, yeah. So that's, oh, that's not working for him right now. Why would he play that? Probably wouldn't. Actually, that's what I played, because I wanted to mess up his plans. Alright, so let's see my opponent right now. Okay, this is not bad for him either. Maybe he wants to play this Velociraptor. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they have the same speed, which means one of them get challenged and move off trail. Well, let's say he's gonna play that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. Both of these have the same speed. We check the hierarchy. This guy will stay. The other guy will move his full speed up. So he will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and off the trail. So it goes to scoring pile, and that says off trail. Rearrange up to 3 cards on Jurassic Trail. Alright, so let's see what he wants to rearrange. He might do something like this, because now my opponent has some options, because this also can score for him 5 points, because he has a herbivore up and herbivore down, and also 3 points for each of the carnivores. Alright, things have changed. Alright, but I wouldn't know that, of course. That would be hidden information, just playing two-handed. Well, I probably want some more herbivores in my scoring pile, so I might play this Spinosaurus. So he will go 1, 2, 3. Now there's a 2 carnivores, and we know what's gonna happen. These have a higher speed, so he stays. He's gonna eat this Spinosaurus. Goes here. It says that move 1 herbivore on Jurassic Trail its full speed as it was spooked following its direction. Spooks means it's gonna stampede. So 1 herbivore full speed. Now I wouldn't know this, but let's just mess up his plans. I'm gonna move this guy 4 spaces up, so 1, 2, 3, 4, which means he's gonna push, because when he stampedes he's pushing. So it's gonna happen like this. Move this a bit, and now again we have a full trail of 6 cards, and then my opponent would check it out and say, damn it, but he can still score with this, so he'll probably play this. He can go up or down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's gonna go down. It's gonna eat him. his scores, and there is that you may swap places of the top and bottom card on the Jurassic Trail. It says you may, so he will not do that, which will probably give me alert that he actually likes this setting. So, but damn it. Now the question is, can I do something about no, I still gonna play this Gracilacerotrapus. He's gonna move 6, so he moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now he is has a higher speed. He's gonna get spook and stampede by the Velociraptor, but he's gonna go off trail because he's moving in direction of his movement. So he's just gonna go to my scoring pile, and off trail it says move the highest hierarchy carnivore from the Jurassic Trail to your scoring pile. Oh, that's not gonna help me, but I have to do that. So this is the highest hierarchy, and that would prompt the end of the game. Then we would reveal our objectives. My opponent just managed to do his objective because this could be considered a herbivore. 2 herbivores, that's 5 points, I mean, for his objective, and then 3 more points for each herbivore in his scoring pile. So 8, 11, and that's his final score, 11. Now in my case, I didn't manage to get 5 points because I needed like top and the bottom card to be carnivores, but I'm gonna score 3 points for each herbivore. So that's 3, 6, 9, and 12. Yeah, so I get 1 point more than my opponent and I win this round. And then we would shuffle these cards and play the second round, and so on and so on, until whoever has the most score from 3 rounds is the basically master of the Jurassic Trail. Alright, I hope this playthrough actually was much better and more explaining than the last one. I'm gonna end the video here. I'm gonna write the rule book now, put these to be as a PMP so you can download on the BGG page where I always place it on the thread where I open the thread, and you will be able to download it and check this card game for yourself. Alright, so thanks for watching, and as always, if you like the things I do, please give a like, and see you next time with maybe some new games. Goodbye.